Welcome everyone. Shalom, I'm Justin James Garcia and this is
Garcia.
So as always, we just want to make this video a weekly summary of all the efforts that we put forth in this last week, all the books that we've been working on, all the radio shows that we did, and even an article that my dad has been working on. So we had a pretty awesome week. It's been an awesome time with Eliana. She's growing. We think she might be getting her first tooth in already, which explains a lot of why she's been keeping us up so much this past week. It's been super fun, super tiring, but it's so exciting to just see her growing. And we'll put her on the table and she'll stand there and we're just like supporting her, as she's finding her balance. But her legs are so strong, her mind is so aware, she's so curious. We read that this week she's starting to be able to see colors. So the look on her face is just, she's so excited all the time to just like see everything. We went on a walk through the park yesterday and just seeing all the different colors of the trees and the sky and of course our faces. And it's just so much fun to see a living being. Gina, shalom, welcome. Thank you for joining.
She's speaking and cooing and singing.
Yeah, she's like so trying to formulate words already. It's really amazing. She's learning how to pronounce different letters. It's so exciting. Justin Mac, shalom. So good to see you all. Thank you so much for joining in. So this is our weekly summary. And if you joined last night, Tom said, "Love you, brother. Amazing to catch you live." Yeah, it's awesome to see you, Tom. We don't see you too often, but super glad. I know that the time difference might be a little difficult, but yeah. So if you joined last night for the Digital Readers Club, I did reveal the book that I've been working on, the second part of the Prophecy for Children series, and we released the cover, and it looks so awesome. I'm so excited to get that one done. There's just like maybe a couple more days worth of work that I have to finalize that manuscript, and then I will be ordering the proof copy. And we are doing a giveaway for the first copy of the book that I ever receive, the finalized copy, of course. We are doing a giveaway for that book, and all you have to do, you can check out youtube.com/ZenGarcia, go to the community post, or you can check our Facebook page at Sacred Word Publishing. And all you have to do is translate some Paleo Hebrew that was written on a page in the first book, Prophecy for Children, Enoch's Vision, and you will win the first copy of Prophecy for Children, the Divine Order of Creation. So check that out. If you haven't studied Paleo Hebrew, if you're interested in that, maybe that's a good encouragement to do so. I definitely think it's a lot of fun when I had to sit down and take from the Hebrew that is written, the biblical Hebrew, the Masoretic text, and then translate that into the Paleo Hebrew, or transliterate it into the Paleo Hebrew, and then find a keyboard online that enabled me to write in Paleo Hebrew, and then just putting all of that together was a lot of fun. I really enjoy the languages. Tom said, "My deepest appreciations for the work that you both do for the kingdom. You have both truly been..." Oh, sorry, I missed your comment, but thank you so much for all of your support. Yeah, we really appreciate this. Family, Tammy says, "Shalom, Zen, Justin, Joy." Shalom, Tammy. It's an awesome community that we have here, and we really love you all.
Yes, we do.
The Carpenter's son, much love, Garcia's. Awesome to see you, Jared.
Jared, I forgot to wear the shirt you sent me, brother, but on the next video, I laughed so hard. Just wanted you to know. It was great.
You'll have to get that one.
Yeah.
Austin said hello as well. Awesome to see you all. So we'll begin with Wednesday night. Man, it's been such a long week. What did you do on Wednesday night?
Yes, what did I do?
You didn't do anything, because that was actually my show.
And Gary,
with
yes, that's
Brother
right.
Gary Wayne. He joined us for our monthly Ask Me Anything, and that was an awesome show. He had quite a large amount of questions, a diversity of questions. Just Mac, if no one is still figuring out the Hebrew writing, don't worry, I will figure it out eventually. Yes, brother, you did. You're one of two people, the other one being Sister Lisa, You're the only two that have submitted even an attempted answer at that. So kudos to you. Keep working at it. You'll get it. You're really close. So awesome to see you guys working on that. But regarding Wednesday night, the radio show with Brother Gary Wayne, Brother Gary is such a nice man, and he's such a well-researched individual,
Yes.
and it's just such
Kind brother.
it's so nice of him to come on and to do a 2-hour show with us once a month. We really
Answering
appreciate
everybody's
that.
questions.
Yeah, and he takes any question, you
Yeah.
know, things that might make him feel uncomfortable still that he hasn't really looked into, but he always gives a very thorough answer and gives you everything that he has studied. He also shared some stories in the AMA, answered some great questions. If you have any questions, join us for that live stream. We normally take the questions from the live stream that we're not able to get to, and then we roll them over to the next month's AMA. So we were for a long time, as most of you probably know, taking emailed in questions, and it just got overwhelming. Our inbox is flooded, and it's really hard for us to keep up with it all. So if you have sent an email and not gotten a reply, we apologize, especially since May 23rd, Joy and I became very busy, and we have a priority that trumps all of our business efforts. So also a priority that drains a lot of our energy. But yeah, so anyways, it was an awesome show. Please check that out. It's the first Wednesday of every month, and you can find that at youtube.com/Garcia, the Ask Me Anything with Brother Gary Wayne. So moving on to Thursday, my dad joined, or Rob Skiba joined with my dad on Truth Frequency Radio to continue their Genesis Revisited series. Be Eden, I'm not sure how you all keep up with everything. Awesome to see you, Be Eden.
Difficult.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff, but it's life, and we're just continuing on. We're blessed to be alive. Every day is a blessing. So anything that stood out to you from that show with Rob?
Yeah, specifically, Rob and I talked about just the gifts of the Spirit and how we are and have formed a call to prayer. And that Rob even did on his virtual house church today, where we're asking people to, at 4:44 p.m., and it's a number that Rob came up and something that he read, has no, real significant that I know of. But 4:44 p.m. for 4 minutes, if people would just pray together, for that 4 minutes, humble yourself. Let's bow together. Let's pray together. Let's see how we can affect the world spiritually just by utilizing our coming together in that manner. Wherever you are in the world, a group will come together at that particular hour in the different time zones you may be inhabiting, and let's just give gratitude, thanksgiving to the Most High for all the bounty, all the blessings He's poured upon us, and to be able to be utilized as vessels of honor for affecting the kingdom, and just simply praying for ourselves, our families, our nations, our friends, our animals, our country, our world, our children, the future, and just see what happens. And so he did a show about that today, and you can check out that show in the first 30 segments. We came up with this idea because we spoke about the incredible power of prayer and the miracle that it can accomplish, and how we as Christian community, as a fellowship of believers, we believe we're underutilizing this magnificent gift. And so that was something that we spoke about on that show. And then it was a continuation, of course, of the gospel narrative, the parallel accounts of the Genesis Revisited stories. So please, and we always have so many exciting revelations on that show and doing the readings. So go check it out. It was another wonderful broadcast.
Yeah, it is, and it's always a lot of fun being with Rob and hearing his stories that he brings and the research that he brings forth. So regarding the prayer time of 4:44, is that 4:44 Eastern time?
PM, not Eastern, just wherever you are in the world,
Okay.
where 4:44 for yourself, your time, and we're just hoping that there would just be a cascade or a torrent of prayers continually going up to the Most High for just continuing to help us in our spiritual battle here with the powers, the principalities, the rulers of darkness.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely necessary to take every thought captive and to pray without ceasing, as we're told. So moving on to Saturday, which was yesterday, we had our Digital Readers Club meeting, and we continue with the writings of Abraham. We got to see an awesome part of the story from Abraham's deliverance from the fiery furnace. I love this story. It's one that isn't contained in the canon, but is contained in great detail in quite a few other extra biblical texts. Mm-hmm. So I really enjoy that story, and hearing of how he went through his dad's house and destroyed all the idols, and really just brought logic to this place. But here in this story, you learn how it wasn't logic that they were functioning on. They were actually operating under this ancient order. So in opposition to the order of the ancients, which Enoch the prophet established and was handed down from Adam, this was the order of Cain, and this was an order that Nimrod carried forward, and they called it the order of their first fathers, and it was a secret combination, and
Evil combination.
And they sacrificed human beings to these idols and to these gods, as they call them. Really crazy that things like this still take place. That of course those rulers of darkness and the wickedness in high places, the people that get ahead in this world, that are the governors and the leaders, are the ones that were willing to kill, steal, lie, abuse, and subjugate the weaker people, or the people that weren't willing to do those things to get ahead. And that's what has happened continually for thousands of years. And yeah, unfortunately, it's that same order that's operating in the shadows that is in control. But we talk about that quite often, so you're probably very aware. So that's another great reason that we need to stay in prayer. And as we're told in Jeremiah 29, we have to pray for the cities that we've been sent forth to. Wherever we are in Babylon, pray for the peace of your city. In your city having peace, you will have peace. So let's continue to pray that our leaders will have some sense in their heads that, if there are these articles that are coming out that doing the hokey pokey makes everything great, right? And prevents death. And, if that's true, I'm so happy. If you want to take it, please take it and stop bothering me, because you'll be fine if you take it, right? I mean, if you do it, if you do the hokey pokey. I don't need to do the hokey pokey. I don't want to.
Yeah. I won't.
Yeah. So anything that stood out to you from the writings of Abraham that we studied last night?
Yeah, we spoke again on that show about the evil combination, and how even the line of Cain, that they had their own order that they followed and that they preserved and passed down through their line and generations. And I talked about how this was connected to what is the order of the dragon, or the order of the phoenix. Same thing, that it's in antediluvian times they worship the feathered serpent. And we see also in a book that was just recently released by Peter Damon, the same guy who released the book of King Og, the Rephaim king, the lost book of King Og. He released a book by Lamech, of the line of Cain. And in this narrative, it speaks about how Lamech, befriending a giant, that they came to worship the Leviathan, and that they began to do rituals, black magic and sorcery, and involve themselves in things like that, sacrifice, in order to elicit response from this particular deity. And that, again, during the time of Dracula, Vlad the Impaler, his father was also part of the order of the dragon. And so these kind of things have been preserved and are still part of the children of Cain and their particular secret societies and their mystery schools and all that they continue to propagate amongst themselves.
Yeah, that was an interesting name that you brought forth. Pater Daemon, like Father
Yeah.
Demon. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
They're very questionable.
Right, yeah. I think it's just a name or title that he uses. Probably not his real.
Right. Yeah, I don't know why someone would choose that to be their name. But anyways, moving on to 9 p.m. at last night and Saturday night, we had our biblical Hebrew class. Another awesome class with Brother Noble George and the George family and their whole production team that's over there. We greatly appreciate y'all joining together to help grow this community and the fellowship that we have here. It's not everyone that has time to focus on learning another language, but if you do, you know, Hebrew is a great language to learn. So learning how the written language works, learning vocabulary, speaking the language, hearing the language being spoken, learning how to read, the Masoretic text in the Hebrew that has been preserved to us, it allows you to grow a lot, I feel, and it gives you a diversified look when you are looking at the truth, because all around the world, people are speaking different languages, and everyone has their own translations of the scriptures, right, that are based on the Greek and the Hebrew. So instead of reading the translations, we can now, learn to read these different languages. And I think that it garners great insight when we do look into that. And I also think it's so interesting how all the languages are related. So often in the biblical Hebrew class, a word will come up that's in Hebrew, and you're like, wow. People all the time are like, oh, well, that's the same word in Dutch or Korean even, or in Chinese. And like, wow, all these languages share so much, because of course originally it was one language that
yes.
became diversified and had different grammatical
Right.
rules and different vocabularies and even different alphabets that were written alphabets. But really interesting. I definitely appreciate the story time and the lessons that Brother Noble presents during the second hour of the class. It's always really fascinating. He actually spoke on how Lucifer, the term, isn't anywhere to be found in the verse where the enemy is called Lucifer. It's totally just a Latin term that was inserted into there, not a real name. But anyways, really interesting time to be able to study. I really appreciate all of you joining in. So regarding the work that we've been doing, I talked about my book. Did you want to talk about the article or any of the books that you're working on?
Yeah, so far the article that I'm working on is 3 parts, and it literally spans, 30 to 40 pages. It's, very in depth, and Noel's going to have to break it down. And I even considered just making a small book of it, since this is such a controversial topic, but that's something to consider later. And I do plan on, since my son is working in the avenue of creating children's books, I would like to do that for my granddaughter as well, and that there's themes like the life and the infancy of Yahushua, which I'd like to cover and portray. And so that's something that I will probably do after this particular article on this particular project. But we are also did promote the Pre-Adamite series, which there's a lot of great interest in that, and the article for this newsletter, it was about that. And so, and I know I still have the Great Contest 3, which is mostly written, which I need to finish up, but I'm just so burned out on writing. I just need to take a break and also cater to my health. And so we'll be getting to, releasing other ancient manuscripts there. Still working with the Thracian Project, the Book of Ari, and also the Book of Andrew, the Apostle Andrew, and certain others are coming forth. And I know that a lot of you want us to share that information. And as I get some shows where I'm by myself and have the time to read and share them, that I will do that, because they're very, very interesting. So
Yeah, definitely. Really interesting text. Appreciate everyone who has worked with us to get these books out, and for all the work that you do and bring forth all of the research that you present. So lastly, our newsletter did go out at the beginning of the week. If you didn't get that newsletter, you can always sign up at the bottom of sacredwordpublishing.com, where it's the newsletter section. You can hit the sign up. And I do need to update the archives, so I will try to remember to do that, and I'll update the archives there with the previous, I think since Eliana was born, I don't think that I've went to that page to update it, so I definitely need to do that. I apologize I haven't done it, but I did want to let everyone know of the promotion for this month at sacredwordpublishing.com is if you spend $100, you can use this promo code to take $25 off your cart. So it's kind of like buying 3 books and getting one free, or just getting 25% off your $100 order. But the promo code is capital B3 free. So B is just the letter B, the number 3, and then FREE, all capital letters, B3 free. You can get $25 off of your order of $100 or more, and you can, of course, if you spend $200, you get to use it twice. So yeah, we appreciate all of you, and we're trying to come up with creative ways to make discounts and continue this operation of publishing these ancient manuscripts and bringing forth as much as we possibly can. We thank you all again for joining this week for all the radio shows. We pray that we'll see you coming up this week, as we have 3, 4, 5 radio shows coming. So
I've got another one tonight. I'm guest appearance tonight at 9 on Tribulation Now with Dr. Joy. So
well, it's a pleasure that you get to serve in the kingdom. Blessing. So we should stay joyful and stay happy. So yeah, where can people find that show tonight?
Tribulation Now is at blogtalkradio.com/tribulation-now. Dr. Joy and I will be joining John the Baptist there about 9 p.m. Eastern tonight. And so, and I'm not sure if we did publish the other one, but if not, we'll try to get that one out to you guys too, because it was an incredibly blessed show. So
yeah, definitely.
I'm trying to catch up.
I know that he is allowed to say a lot of things that we probably aren't allowed to say. So I don't know if we can share those or not, but you can check it at that link that my dad just mentioned. So I really appreciate everyone. Karen Ott said, God will bless you mighty one day. Yes, amen. We are blessed every single day to just be able to join together with you all continually, to be able to use this format. We're very, very grateful. We know that the time is coming where we won't be able to utilize the internet. We won't be able to participate in society. So while we can, all of the names and your profile pictures, I don't even know if those are you or not. I just know your names. And to me, you're like family, so absolutely. Maybe we won't meet in this life, but we can still join now and fellowship with one another. And eventually, when I see Sister Tammy in the kingdom, we'll have knowledge that we don't have now. The knowledge will just be given to us, and we'll be like, oh, you're Tammy, so good to see you. Let's hang out and party for eternity and worship the Most High.
That will be.
And let me introduce you to my home that the Most High has built for me and for you.
So, our loved ones that have gone on.
Right. It says that each one of us will have our own fruit trees. We're all gonna have our own lot. And how amazing will that be that we get to share that with everyone for eternity. Yah willing, by His grace and through His mercy, through the sacrifice that He made for our sins. Let's continue to worship Him throughout the week, to stay joyful. We appreciate you all, and we look forward to seeing you later. So Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll see you then.
Be blessed.
Shalom.
Shalom.